What's going on, guys? This is SB here. Listen, I'm going to show you 8 ways to make your fragrances last longer. And I have a bonus at the very end, no cap at all, that you guys are definitely not considering. And some of these you may know, but you definitely haven't thought through them the way I'm going to break them down right now. Strap up. Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. No, we are not doing a review right now. I've got something even better for you guys. So before I get into this, I just want to let you guys know I have a free Discord server. It's free right now. We're going to cap it off at 100 people. We are almost approaching like 70 right now. So there's a couple of slots left. People in there make recommendations on the type of episodes they want me to make all day long, and this was one of them. So if you're ever interested in kind of curating the type of conversation around fragrances that we do, and you want to kind of request certain things that you want to hear more about, the Discord is where you can make that request. So shout outs to the Discord community for stepping up and asking me to provide this thorough and exhaustive list of ways you can make your fragrances last longer. I have 8 and a bonus at the very end. So let's get started. The first way you can make your fragrances last longer is to shower. Yes, I said it. Shower. If you have funk, if you have oils, if you have dirt on your body, it messes up with the chemistry of the fragrance in a way that would negatively impact the smell of the fragrance, as well as your ability to smell the fragrance, because the fragrance is competing with other fragrant elements that have nothing to do with the scent. So make sure you get in the shower and make sure you wash your skin thoroughly, exfoliate, and make sure that you are clean before you apply a fragrance so that that fragrance can work well with your skin chemistry to create a fragrant experience for both you and the people around you and make it a good fragrant experience. So shower is the genesis of everything that we're going to cover today. Keep your butt clean, and it will benefit the smell of your fragrance and the experience of your fragrance. Stay clean, people. Number 2, body wash and soaps can add to the longevity of your fragrance. What do I mean by that? So we can approach this from kind of 2 different ways. So obviously with body washes and bar soaps and all that, I'm kind of smattering them all into one conversation, but you can use scent washes that are scented, and you can use them in 2 regards. So you can use a scented body wash or soap or shampoo to complement a fragrance. Maybe you have a scent profile that's similar to something that you're going to wear in your perfume, and so you kind of double up on that scent pattern, but you can also use it to do contrast. Maybe I'm going to wear a blue fragrance and I might have a coconut shampoo or body wash or soap. So the coconut and the blue kind of make an ocean water from Sonic kind of feel, and you can be more contrasty and develop the note composition with further complexity. And that all adds to the longevity because you have the molecules from the soaps, body washes, and shampoos and conditioners interacting with the scent that's on your skin, and all of that combined should add to the longevity and the projective experience of your fragrance. So you can do it where you follow the same scent pattern, or you can build up a fragrance by adding multiple layers of scent profiles through the use of the wash versus the scent that you're going to apply afterward. And you'll find ways to kind of build up multi-layer combos, but you want to tread lightly with this, because if you build up too much, you might be a fragrance explosion in a very negative way. So body washes, conditioner, shampoo, and bar soaps can definitely be utilized to interact with the fragrance and give you more projection and longevity. That's number 2. Now, number 3, this may seem so dumb, but I'm going to say it. To make your fragrance last longer, apply it again. And we can think through this in 2 ways. Number 1, overspray. You can overspray your fragrance, and that means spraying more You hear the term sissy sprayer a lot. If you're used to spraying 3 or 4 times and you're not really getting longevity out of it, spray at 8. If it ain't working at 8, go to 10. Max it out. Play and manipulate with your fragrances so that you can really see how far they can go. And sometimes it might choke you out at first, but a thing that I always do is if a fragrance is going to choke me out, I'll apply the heck out of it and then go stand outside and let a breeze get under me and let that thing sit down for a little bit. And then I'm glad I did, because it leads to more projection and longevity. And really, I broke that up into 2. So number 3 would be is to simply overspray your fragrance and get in the habit of pushing the boundaries of what you're comfortable with to get that longevity, if that is something that you care about. And then number 4 is the reapplication through the use of like a travel spray, or simply bringing your bottle in the car with you. I keep a fragrance in the dash and glove compartment of my car, and sometimes I'll even carry this in my pocket, and I'm more than happy to reapply throughout the day. If you're I always have this saying, I can get infinite longevity with any fragrance because I can reapply it, right? And I can overspray it. So definitely make overspraying and reapplication a part of your daily process, because if we don't do anything at all that's on this list today, those are 2 very convenient ways that you can increase the projection and longevity of your fragrance. And sometimes the longevity just isn't there because you didn't give it any longevity. You know, you have a fragrance that's light and you're only doing 2-3 sprays. You can't just ask it to go further. You have to put more gas in the car if you want your car to run. You know, you can't put $5 on the tank and go drive to California. So hopefully you guys catch my drift. Number 1 is shower and stay clean. Number 2 is body wash, soaps, bar soaps, hair, shampoos, and conditioners. Number 3 is overspraying. Number 4 is reapplying. Number 5 is going to be comboing. What do I mean by that? Comboing is simply taking 2 fragrances and wearing them. Now, here's an example of a combo. I have Michael Malol's Zest and Vetiver. Shout outs to Kix. And I have Lalique's Linsumi Maforce. And so this is a very kind of fresh citric, limey lemonade. And this is a very Sprite-like fun mass appeal vetiver. And I'm wearing these 2 in a very complementary, analogous kind of thing. And analogous in color is kind of 2 colors that are closely associated with each other. So yellow, and then maybe a lighter yellow, or a darker yellow into an orange, maybe into a red. You wear 2 scent profiles that are fairly close to one another to kind of build up within the same profile. But then you can also spin the block and do contrasting styles where maybe I might go, you know, original Eros EDT, which is more of a sweet, fresh, musky lavender apple, and then, you know, build up some contrast with like a lemonade, fresh, musky vibe, but they're still somewhat closely related. So they kind of complement each other, but accent different parts. One thing I want to say about comboing that a lot of people don't understand is I hope you guys already know that you shouldn't be rubbing in your fragrances with your skin on your body, because it messes with the oils and skin chemistry in a negative way with the perfume and destroys the fragrant experience that the perfumer intended for you. But that concept also applies with your fragrances. Never spray fragrances on top of each other, because these fragrances were not made to go together. So you can do something like spray this part of your arm right here, but then if you're going to put a fragrance next to it, spray it next to it. Don't spray it on top of each other. You can get as close as you want, but don't overlap your fragrances. You want them both to waft in the air and mix, and you also want them to be able to isolate. So let's say you go left and right. Maybe somebody who's on your right might catch more of the Eros. Somebody who's on the left might catch more of the Maforce. But if you're bouncing around and using your hands, they're all mixing in the air. So it just adds to the versatility of the fragrance experience, but it also lets those scents marry together in a much more seamless way without disrupting the scent profiles that were intended from the perfumers. So when you're comboing, whether you're using 2 of a similar profile or 2 slightly different profiles to create contrast, always spray them next to one another, not on top of one another. And there's a bunch of different application methods. I wish I could say I do it the same when I'm comboing fragrances, but sometimes I'll put one on each side. Sometimes I'll put them close to each other in the same line. Sometimes I'll do half on one side in kind of crosshatch. I do all kind of stuff, and we'll do a further video later, but that is my number 5, which is comboing your fragrances to increase the performance. Also with the caveat that sometimes you might have a weak fragrance like this that only lasts, 3-4 hours, but Eros is known to be like 10 hours plus no matter which version you have. So by comboing, you can also combo a weak fragrance with a more projective longevity-based fragrance, and now you have a long-lasting fragrance because you gave it some assistance. So that can definitely add to the projection and longevity of the fragrance. Okay, that was number 5. I'm going to take a quick drink here. And let's move on to number 6, oils. Now, oils can increase the projection and longevity of a fragrance, and you're mostly going to see them out in the world presented in roll-ons. And roll-ons are amazing because they're so affordable. I mean, most fragrances out there you can get today in 10 to 15 ml oil concentration, which essentially lasts years unless you're just milking one only. But you can get these for anywhere between $3 to $15-20 depending on the quality and everything like that. But safely you can get roll-ons for under $10, which is amazing because for $20-30 you can get a nice little assortment of oils. And these are really great because you can hit the pulse points with your oils and then apply your fragrance beside them to increase projection and longevity. And the same thing applies. You can build up 2 of the same profile or contrast 2 different ideas to make a new scent while also increasing projection and longevity. They do have kind of unscented and scented oils. Most people in the oil game are messing with scented oils, but they definitely have more ethical earth conscious oils that are scentless that can just simply seal the fragrance and hold the molecules longer before they release to add to that projection and longevity. But roll-ons are a really affordable way to layer in such a way where the performance is increased. And I really love roll-ons. I probably have like 40 or 50 of them. I wish I could say I'm a pro and a boss at it, but it's really something I've been getting into only in the last like 2 years. But that will be a part of my ebook series, is telling you guys all the best oil combinations. But oils are a fantastic way to get into increasing performance of a fragrance. I will also say that a lot of times fragrances have an oil version. So for instance, with Baccarat Rouge 540, they sell that directly from the company as an oil. And they have other products, which we'll mention later on in this video. But typically, that's the first thing you want to do if you're having performance issues, is see if they offer that same fragrance from the same company in an oil concentrate and wear the fragrance with the oil. And the same thing applies. And one of the things that I wanted to mention is I've heard professional perfumers say, apply the fragrance, then put the oil on top to seal it. Such as Roja Dove. And then I've also heard other very renowned perfumers say to put the oil on first and to add the fragrance on top after. So as of the release of this video, I can't comfortably say which method is best. I can only say try both. You'll notice very quickly what works on your skin the best. But nonetheless, both methods will increase projection and longevity. So that's the oil talk. And one more caveat to that is just when we get into oils and some of the other things I'm about to mention, please, for the love of God, shower. Do not get into adding and layering and comboing and building up all these scent profiles on funky, musty skin. The shower is essential before you make any decision to layer and increase performance, because that is the foundation of chemistry and oil and fragrantness that everything is built on. So if you have bad soil, the house can't be built, or the house will look really ridiculous. So number 6 is oils. Wrapping up with our last 2, number 7, we have lotions. You can go scented or you can go unscented lotion. Both can increase the projection and longevity of a fragrance. I'm going to show you 2 examples for me. You'll notice in the fragrance game, you may, as a collector, come across the question of what is the most, I don't know if it's ethical, but what is the healthiest way to approach fragrance, perfume, oils, lotions, and all of that. And I, without being a scientist, err on the side of give me the cleanest product. So I, when it comes to lotions, am messing with products that have less than 4 or 5 ingredients and are mostly pure raw materials for the protection of my skin, because I'm not a scientist and I don't even like applying fragrance on skin as much as I do clothes. And I'm very sensitive to that. Also, quick tip, never spray fragrances around your thyroid gland, which is kind of right on your throat, because the thyroid gland is very important to your bodily functions, and putting toxicity through perfume that will soak up into your skin and into that area is really bad, especially if you have allergies, intolerances, and different, malfunctions with certain major organs in your body, or breathing, or asthma, or, how your liver and kidneys work, all kind of stuff. Don't mess with the thyroid gland. I never spray a fragrance on my neck. Shout out to anybody that does that, but look into that, because that can escalate long-term with some really negative effects. Back to the lotion. Unscented, I have Everyday Shea, and it is simply unrefined shea butter. Scentless, easy to apply. I got this at a Whole Foods or a Sprouts, and it is just a unscented body lotion that I use to increase projection and longevity, and it does a pretty nice job. And I think I got this for like $5 to $8, and I got 32 fluid ounces of it, so this will last me forever. You can also get into building up a scent in projection and longevity by, again, comboing with something scented. So for instance, I also have Everyday Coconut, literally just virgin coconut oil, and that's all it is. There's nothing, no additives of any kind in this. And so one of my favorite combos to do with coconut is when I'm messing with citrics and florals and tropical scents, adding a coconut lotion in increases to the projection and longevity, even a little bit more than the unscented, but I really like using that as well. $5 to $8, you have an amazing layering tool. And that concludes number 7. But also remember, take a shower and be clean before you add lotion, please, guys. It's really important. Okay, let's wrap up with the final. And we are right on time here, approaching 20 minutes. The final, before we get to the bonus, is number 8, which is body sprays and body mists. And I'm not talking about Axe body spray, which growing up in my day, that was like a fad. Deodorants like Axe body sprays wound up becoming fragrances for people, where they weren't just spraying their underarms with them, but they were actually applying them like they were a fragrance and disregarding the perfumes entirely. But that is also a way to add to the projection and longevity of a fragrance, but I'm not talking about Axe body spray. With things like Baccarat Rouge 540, they offer that scent directly from the company as things like a hair mist or a body spray, things that are a lot lighter in concentration, but when added with a perfume, can add to the projection and longevity of the fragrance. So you can combo similar note profiles, as well as contrast them with different ideas to develop up a new hybrid scent and increase performance. So you can look into a fragrance to see, for instance, with Versace Eros, maybe they offer that as a body mist or a hairspray. And a lot of your niche companies do this a ton. And even designer companies offer like combos where like maybe your Eros comes with a travel spray and a shower gel and a body mist. And so you can layer all of those up to increase performance. So definitely, if you really like one of your fragrances, aren't getting the most performance out of it, go on Google and simply search the name of the fragrance and then type body mist or body spray and see if that comes up. Even with the clone game booming, a lot of clone companies or alternative companies will make their version of a fragrance as a body mist or a hairspray. And so that is definitely a part of a legitimate tool you can use in your arsenal to increase longevity, and it's definitely a valid option. You'll notice you can do a lot of these things. Maybe you do the oil and the body mist, and you're showering, and you're applying your fragrance, and you're reapplying. I mean, really, longevity should never be an issue in perfumery with all of these options that I've presented to you. But I'm very interested to hear from you guys if there was anything I missed. I know there's more than these, but between these different tools that I have, I've never struggled with the longevity of a fragrance to the point where I don't even complain about longevity. The only reason I even bring it up is to be helpful to you guys who might not know of these different tools you have to increase performance. But performance has never been an issue in my book with these tools in my fragrance wearing experience. So I hope all of these are of help to you. Again, to conclude, number 1, shower. Number 2, body wash, soaps, conditioners, and shampoos. Number 3, overspraying a fragrance. Number 4, reapplying a fragrance throughout the day. Number 5, comboing multiple fragrances, 2, 3. I know people who use 3 fragrances in one. Shout outs to my ladies out there. So you can combo your fragrances. Oils, scented and unscented oils are a great help. Lotions for number 7. And lastly, for number 8, we have body sprays and body mists. All of those can be used at your disposal to get the job done in the performance category. Now, this is the last caveat bonus that I want to leave you guys with. It's important that you understand the difference between fragrance longevity and you being nose blind potentially. So what I'll say is a lot of times, and this is where feedback is essential, sometimes you don't smell the fragrance on you, but other people do. And so it's important to get feedback sometimes when you feel like your performance of a fragrance isn't there, to ask people like, hey, do you still smell this? Or ask your girl, significant other, family member, hey, do you still smell something on me? To properly get an understanding of the true longevity of a fragrance, because not all fragrances are heady and fragrant, yet they're still there and people are experiencing them full blast except for you. So that really helps. I know a lot of people who overspray and are utilizing some of these tools, but they're making other people, pass out because they've been experienced the fragrance. You're just overwhelming yourself so that you can spray it at the expense of the people around you. So get feedback on your fragrances to really understand how their true performance is, because just because you can't smell a fragrance doesn't mean other people don't smell it. And that can assist you to gauge which tools you're utilizing to increase the performance. All right, guys, again, like, comment, subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me. I do talk back. Why isn't there we go. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this topic. Let me know if these were helpful for you or if you've thought through them the same way as I have. We're all on a journey here, and it sucks when you spend money on a fragrance and you're not experiencing that fragrance. So I hope these tools you have in your bag now, you can utilize them to make sure that you're experiencing your fragrances to the utmost and you're not feeling like you're held back by a fragrance that doesn't have a lot of performance, because we're just talking about performance, but there's another conversation about time and place for certain levels of longevity and projection. Maybe sometimes there's an occasion where you don't want to smell that fragrance on you all day and want to switch it up, and fragrances that are loud versus quiet that have equal levels of longevity. I mean, the conversation is just endless, but I just wanted to show you guys how to intentionally go about increasing your performance on your scents. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. My name is SB. I gotta go, but feel free to check out all the videos in my playlist, and I'm gonna throw 2 videos up based off what you've been searching for so you can keep the show rolling, but I gotta get out of here. All right, guys, be blessed. Peace.